Okay, everyone, welcome back to PALS TV. It's a fun start to our day. And now we're going to head over and join our friends at Together We Grow. Sarah and her team has brought us some great segments and really looking forward to the one today. So live from the Sarah.
Hi guys, here we are we're at 6th Street Garden. Some of our friends are here with us. Say hi, everybody. Hi. So we're really excited to have them here. Our garden director, Dan. Hi, Dan. Hi. And then we have Lou here. Hi, Lou. Our garden is looking really great, so we'll have to walk you around if we have a little extra time. But today, what are we doing today? Salsa. We're making salsa. We're going to make two different kinds of salsa. We're going to make just a regular salsa, and then we're going to a tomato salsa, and then we're going to make a peach salsa. Here's all the ingredients, all fresh from the garden. So we have jalapeno peppers. We have, what do they call it? Pear tomatoes or peach tomatoes, or peaches, pear tomatoes, tomatoes from the garden, a lime. So we have some cilantro, green onions. Okay, so Lou is going to demonstrate.
Yep, I took my mask off because it's hard enough to figure out what we're saying over the TV line, and it's even harder if you have a mask on. I did wash my hands, but just in case, and that was a while ago, I'm going to put on gloves. And this is partly so I keep the food clean, particularly since it's not going to be cooked, it's raw. And it's also partly because I'm going to be slicing things like jalapeno peppers, and the pepper juice can actually burn your hands. But more importantly, if you happen to get some in your eye or in your mouth, it really burns, particularly if you get it in your eye. And when I wear gloves, it helps me remember not to touch my face, which, you know, if anything itches, I forget. So we're going to make raw vegetable salsa, and the main ingredients are tomatoes, some spices, and onions. And let's start with the tomatoes. We don't have a lot of our tomatoes locally ripe yet, but in just a couple of weeks, we're going to have probably more tomatoes than people know what to do with. And you don't have to peel a tomato to make salsa, but I kind of like to because it's just, particularly big tomatoes, the peel is sometimes a little bit tough. It just makes the salsa a little bit nicer. But there's an easy way to peel a tomato. It's almost impossible to get the skin off a tomato unless you do what's called blanching it. And blanching a tomato is just dipping it in boiling water for about 20 seconds. I just like to count to about 20 slowly. And then you take it out of the hot water and let it cool down enough you can touch it. So this one I blanched at home since we weren't really cooking here. And I'm going to core it, and then hopefully you can see how easy the peel comes off because it's been blanched. See the skin? Well, take the core out, and the skin's all crumpled up, and it just comes right off in one or two pieces. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Just there. Yeah, it came right off. If I hadn't blanched it, I'd be cutting my tomato all up and making a mess out of it. And tomatoes are messy enough as it is. So.
Thanks, Dan.
Okay, this recipe calls for 2 cups of tomatoes. And I'm thinking that's going to be about 2 pretty big tomatoes. We'll see. I brought a 2-cup measure here, and we'll see how much a tomato makes. So we're going to chop it. We want kind of little pieces because when you dip your nacho chips in it, you want the,
Catch the tomato.
yeah, you want to catch a lot of pieces of tomato. If they're too big, they'll probably just fall off right on, mine would be right in the middle of my shirt.
Yeah, that's
The big
exactly how it
tomato
goes.
blob.
Big stain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
In fact, by the time we get this done, there will probably be a big tomato blob in the middle of my shirt.
I
Anyway,
hope not. You just refound it.
I know. I was looking for this shirt for like a month. I looked everywhere. The other day, my daughter came down to use my washing machine to do her laundry. And she said, oh, by the way, I accidentally took your shirt home.
Mystery solved. Kids, I swear.
So she brought it back to me dirty and had to wash it.
Oh,
At least it's
it's a pretty color. I brought.
Well-
I'm about due for another knife set.
the good thing about slicing tomatoes once they're peeled is, you know, those little plastic knives with
Yeah.
the little that you get free when you take out food.
Yes.
They're really good for slicing tomatoes.
Really?
They work really well.
Yeah, it's already.
And even little
Ah.
kids can do it pretty safely.
Good to know.
So
So save your plastic knives.
yeah, save your plastic knives. My daughter has a cooking school, and she has cooking camps for kids, even really little kids, and that's what they use to cut things.
Yeah.
As long as they're pretty soft, the plastic knife does a great job.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
let's see how much one tomato makes.
Bless you.
If I can try to get the tomato and the juice
Yeah,
in
how
this
big
little
was?
cup.
You got it.
Yeah, I've got a little
What
bit,
is-
at least a tablecloth, new and clean.
Mm-hmm. So, and what does the recipe call for? A cup?
Cost for 2 cups.
2 cups. We're almost there.
We've got 1 cup.
Okay.
So one big tomato is about
1
1
cup.
cup.
Okay.
Throw that in the
So
bowl.
we gotta do one more.
And this one is already peeled.
Great.
Already peeled tomato.
Good job, Lou.
So all we have to do is,
Has anyone here made salsa before?
no.
No? What about you, Dan?
Yes.
Woo! Dan is always graces us with his salsa. When are you gonna do that this summer? I know. You gotta wait till the tomatoes are in.
You know, last year we made salsa at the greenhouse, but I don't remember which groups we made it with.
Dan's salsa is amazing. And you make relish, hot pepper relish, right?
Down to the harvest, use whatever you can in the garden. If you can't use them while it's fresh, you can can it, and it tastes just as good a couple months down the road.
Mm-hmm.
My mother made, and I'm going to try it this year, tomato jam. And that doesn't sound that good, but it is. It's really good. It's good on toast.
Tomato jam.
Uh-huh.
I'd be willing to try that.
I made some last summer, and Ellie Duggins loved it.
I want to try that this
See,
year.
make it out of good fresh tomatoes. It's just the right amount of sweet and a little bit tart.
I feel like, what did I love that you made last year? It was something that had very hot ingredient in it. I don't know if it was like,
Habanero mango, really?
I think that's what it was. Oh, what is it?
Habanero mango.
Habanero mango salsa. Yeah, that was good. It had a kick to it, that's for sure.
I also like to make tomato juice, but it's not quite V8 because I don't put 8 vegetables in it. But
Yeah.
I put whatever else I happen to have, usually some,
Nap time.
a little bit of hot peppers and onion and celery, whatever's
That's sweet.
around.
Those are sweet. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to assume that this is also a cup.
Yeah.
So we're just going to put it in the bowl because the bowl's a little easier to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The next thing it calls for is 1 to 2 garlic cloves. Remember, this is a bulb of garlic. and just one section is a clove. And this clove seems to be pretty big. You got to take the skin off of it though, and I like to just squeeze it, and that makes the skin usually pop right off.
Good.
You can take the back of your knife and smash down on it too.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can do that, and you can also, that helps to be able to chop it if you smash it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna cut the end off. I used to have a garlic press, but I lost it, and I don't think my daughter took that home. I don't know.
So she's got to go to cooking school though.
Yeah.
I don't know where it went. Oh, the cooking school went in Rhode Island. She hasn't transported my stuff across state lines yet.
Oh, okay. So it's not a federal offense.
No.
No, not yet.
Okay, let's smash this. Let's try to cut it up as fine as we can. And
Spain.
let's try not to cut the tip off the glove and put it in the salsa.
Yeah, we don't do
That's the only thing about rubber gloves.
that. Yeah, I know. How about some chips or something like that? Do you want to do that?
They can eat their, if you don't mind.
We can totally eat their lunch. Or we have chips and then soon we'll have salsa.
We'll have salsa in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay,
That
that's
good,
probably
Tom?
not as chopped as
We'll
well
have
as.
salsa in just a
I'd
minute.
like,
You want some
but-
chips to hold you over?
Okay, the recipe calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt, and I happen to have sea salt, so I brought it. But if you don't have sea salt, regular old table salt will do just fine. You don't have to rush out to the store to buy sea salt. I guess sea salt has a few more minerals in it or something
Okay.
that's good for you, but I don't.
Normally larger flake too.
Yeah. It's a nice soft large flake. It melts, seems to melt in really nice. Okay, sea salt, and then the next thing is a tablespoon of lime juice. So have a lime. I'm gonna kind of roll it a little bit to get the juice kind of
You have some
going,
really cool tricks.
and I'm gonna
I
cut
love
it in
that.
half. And
How?
a lime about this size is supposed to be about 2 tablespoons of lime juice. So I'm going to assume that this nice big half lime is going to be a tablespoon.
Oops, hold on. Back to the-
And since I don't want seeds in it, I did bring my little strainer. I'm going to squeeze it as much as I can. And actually, I don't even see any seeds, so I don't really need a strainer. And this thing is a citrus juicer, and it's just going to help me get a little more juice out of here. It just kind of push it in there, and it
Neat, huh?
gets more of the juice out.
I can smell that through my mask.
Yeah, I can smell the lime juice now. Okay, and then we need 2 tablespoons of fresh cilantro.
Okay.
And Dan already cut this up really nicely.
Thank
so
you, Dan.
If I use up all his cilantro, I'll have to cut
Don't
some
use
for
it
him.
all. Just save me a little bit.
So
You might want to chop that, give it another rough chop. So.
I'll tell you what, I
What
brought
about
some
scissors?
scissors.
Oh, there you go.
You can use any kind of herb like this. I like to use scissors just because I can get it finer with the scissors.
Yeah.
And my daughter in the cooking school, when she's working with kids, she just has them use the blunt scissors that kids use at school. Like I said, the best thing though is to be sure you wash them because you can't quite tell where your kids' scissors have been. But it's good for anybody. You can get it fine and you don't cut your hand. Okay, I think this looks like about another tablespoon, don't you?
Yes, it looks very pretty.
And again, I'm going to try not to cut off the ends of the fingers of the gloves, which is easy to do. And there's a
Give me
piece
some
I
sauce.
completely missed.
I think I
Okay.
like the bigger cilantro in mine.
So we have the cilantro, and then we have a tablespoon of red onion.
Okay.
And here it is. It does not have to be, it's just like the salt.
Very
If you
thin.
don't have a red onion, just use a white onion. They might not taste exactly the same, but I think they're pretty close. Plus, how are you going to tell if it's red in a bunch of tomatoes?
Salsa is one of those things that you know what you like and what you don't like. You use what you like and you don't put in what you
Yeah.
don't like.
It's up to you.
You sort of customize it the way you want it.
Yeah.
Anything so you can eat fresh. That's the key.
I have a friend who doesn't like cilantro.
So it just doesn't. I was gonna say.
People either like cilantro or they can't stand it. One of the two. Normally.
I like it. Who doesn't like cilantro? Who likes cilantro? Yay. Seth? What about you? Do you like cilantro? Yes, Seth likes it. What, Dan?
Well,
In moderation?
Yeah, I see those cooking shows on TV where they make like a banh mi sandwich. Which is,
Yeah.
And then they put a big handful of cilantro on there. As big
Yeah.
as my fist.
I
I
know.
wouldn't like that much.
They have that kind of taste. I don't know. It's crazy. They can eat like that.
well, if my one friend who really doesn't like cilantro at all was coming over, I'd probably put everything else in the salsa except the cilantro. Make her a little dish of it,
Mhm.
and then I used to have to do that. My husband did not like eggs in his potato salad, but the rest of the family did. So I'd make potato salad, take his out, and then put hard-boiled eggs in the rest. Okay, I think that's about a tablespoon
Look at that.
of onion,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't seem like a lot of onion to me. I probably might put in more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next thing is ground cumin.
Do you put
And this
cumin
is
in
it.
yours?
Hmm?
Do you put cumin in yours, Dan?
Yeah, the fresh salsa I do.
Okay.
And
Ground cumin.
cumin smells a lot like chili powder. In fact, it's the smell that it's an ingredient in chili powder, and it's the smell you smell when you open chili powder.
Okay.
So a half teaspoon of ground cumin, and then even though it has some cumin in it, this one calls for a half teaspoon of chili powder, which has some other ingredients too. So we'll throw that in.
Look at that.
And then this one is the one that you can decide to use or not use. Cayenne pepper is really hot. And this calls for only a quarter of a teaspoon, but I'm not even going to put in a quarter of a teaspoon because we're putting in jalapenos too. So
Yeah.
I'm going to put in, this is a quarter of a teaspoon, and I'm only going to put in half.
Yeah.
I
And
think
once
that should
again,
be
you
plenty.
tailor it to what your taste is. If you
Mhm.
like spicy stuff, you put more spicy stuff. If you don't like spicy stuff, you don't need to put it in. Now,
And
the cumin's not really spicy at all, but it gives you a good smoky flavor. The chili powder is not spicy; it gives you a good smoky flavor.
Mhm.
The cayenne pepper, that'll light you up if you're not careful.
Yeah.
yeah, particularly if you're going to be feeding it to small children and stuff.
Yeah.
I'd probably just leave the cayenne out entirely. Okay, Dan, can I borrow one of your jalapenos? It's already seeded.
Yes.
This doesn't call for very much.
I'm gonna say, guys.
Yeah, you're going to use a small knife. Okay,
And while Lou's dicing that up, I want to show you something real quick on a jalapeno. Here she's got one she started cutting over here.
Yeah.
If you notice the center where you got the vein and the seeds, that's what's got all the heat in it. This part right here. This is the hot stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want it hot, when you slice it real thin, you just leave it in.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want it hot, you take all that out and you get the flavor of the jalapeno without getting all the heat. It's still going to be a little spicy, but not much.
Yeah.
not nearly. It's those seeds that really kill you.
Fine. Are you using this here?
Yeah. This calls for only a teaspoon, which isn't very much. But I'm trying to make it pretty fine so you don't get a whole mouthful of jalapeno all at once. Also, if I were making this for like company, I'd probably try to make it at least a half a day ahead so it can all
Marinate together.
marinate together,
Yeah.
and that way the hot of the jalapeno and stuff kind of mixes through the whole thing, and the little individual piece won't taste hot. So the only other thing to do is to stir it
Beautiful.
and to stir it really well so all those spices and I said, you know, in the best of all possible worlds, you'd let it sit, but I don't think we're gonna do that.
I don't think. Yeah, we're gonna.
I think we're gonna have Dan do his peach salsa,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna do a tasting of both of them.
Yeah, we might go ahead and let them have a little. No.
The only thing about fresh tomatoes is that when you put salt in them, a lot of the juice comes out, so it's gonna be pretty juicy by the time it sits a while.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Thank you, Lou.
we'll leave a spoon. And
Lou.
we'll clean up a little of my mess so Dan can make a mess. All his own. He's sad. Okay, Dan, I'll leave you a half a lime if you want it. And some onion.
Did you get hummus? I love hummus.
Yeah, you can pick them up.
Do you want him to set
This. Oops.
the bowl?
The bowl.
Yeah, Dan's gonna need a bowl.
There we go.
Yes, I need a bowl.
And he's probably gonna need a cutting board, and I don't,
Okay, so
okay, so,
do you need any of this stuff? No. Is that a Pioneer woman knife? I love those. Those are the best knives.
They are, how do you know?
Because Mark the builder told me.
Give me that little one that you stole from me before.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
there it is.
That's
You want
it.
a spoon?
Yeah, I was looking for that knife for that. Here,
You
Lou.
want this. And there's my bowl of trash.
All right.
Yeah, all we're doing is a variation on it. I happen to like orange tomatoes and yellow tomatoes. These little orange pears are ready, so I picked those up, and we're gonna make a peach salsa.
I'm gonna,
So I already pre-diced some of these. I'm just getting those in there. And I'm gonna dice up the rest of them real quick to show you how easy it is. But we're not gonna make quite as much as Lou did because we don't have as many ingredients ready for that yet.
More you want to this, you want
So basically, we're using the same recipe she did, just a little variation here. So there's our yellow tomatoes. Now Sarah bought some fresh peaches, so I'm just gonna dice up the peaches.
Not.
Yes.
Now, the other thing you can use if you don't have fresh peaches, you just buy a can of peaches at the store and dice those up. Works just as good. Other variations that a lot of people like, they like pineapple salsa. You just buy some pineapple chunks in the store and dice it up. Mango salsa, use basically the same recipe and use mango chunks. Some people like raspberry salsa. Some people like cherry. If you ever go up to Michigan during the summertime, everything's cherry, cherry, cherry up there. Put a little jalapeno in here. Now I took the veins and the seeds out, because this is more savory sweet instead of savory hot. Now if you're using mango and habaneros, then I'd go the other way and make it savory hot.
That looks different, doesn't it?
Instead of the red onion, I'm going to use green onion. It's going to keep that flavor a little milder. Since, like I said, it's a savory sweet. I'll go from both ends. I'll use the onion end. And then I'll use the green onion for even a little bit lighter of a flavor. And it throws a little color in there with all the yellow and the orange.
Mm-hmm. Pretty. Wait. There we go.
I'm going to dice up a little of this cilantro.
Lou, you have some salsa? Is Dan gonna need it? We need that.
Need what?
Juicer?
I don't need anything.
Okay, he's got it.
Yeah, he's got a strong grip.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Awesome. Yep.
a little lemon. Then I'm just going to use a little loose cumin. This cumin gives it a good Mexican flavor without being overbearing. I'm not going to put salt in it.
You're not going to?
No.
Wow, that's beautiful.
You know, I think that should about do it.
All right.
Like I say, you
Pizza.
can use a lot of different variations. Different color of tomatoes,
Okay.
different fruits. Let it all marinate together and it tastes
What
great.
is the strangest fruits that you tried in a salsa? We had like strawberry salsa.
I don't know if strawberries hold up real good in there. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. I've seen,
Yeah.
but if you go in the store, you can see raspberry, cherry,
Yes.
mango, peach, pineapple.
Mango's a big one though, and pineapple.
And then corn, black beans.
Yes.
You want it more savory than less sweet. But anything. It's a thing. Well,
All right. Well, let's see. Looks like it's 11:30. We have about 10 minutes. So what we could do is kind of just walk
But you can show you got a lot of peppers coming on over in the PALS garden over
Yeah.
there.
Why don't we get these folks to taste the peach and see what they have to say about it?
Okay, let's do that. Can anybody hold his phone?
No.
Okay, who wants to try some peach salsa? All right.
Where are we going to?
We got plenty of it over here.
Yeah,
Don't be shy. We even got more tomatoes if we need to make more.
yeah, and PALS on your garden, we do need to kind of point out that over here in your PALS garden, if you guys want to come by and pick up some peppers, they need to be picked like ASAP. There's a lot on the right. Is there plenty? Like what else is over there? Just peppers and
Just peppers right now. The tomatoes are just
and tomatoes are
starting to
getting
come
there.
Well, maybe they could take some home today.
Yeah.
Take some back and share them.
Good, want to take some peppers home today?
Uh-huh.
All right, let's do that.
Okay. Let's see. Sarah's busy dishing out salsa in nice little bowls.
Get out the spoon today.
I'm
What do you
anxious
all
to
want?
taste it.
I like the other salsa.
Which one? You don't like the peach one? No? It's just different people like different things.
Let's see.
different strokes for different folks.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I feel. I'm curious.
Gonna say.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Oh, well, yeah, I want to try it. Yeah, we can see one empty dish over here of the regular salsa. So
Let's try it.
that much has gotten a good review. And I think this looks so pretty.
It does. The peach salsa? Is that?
I can't do. I shouldn't try to do camera work and chips at the same time. That's not a good idea.
Let's get some more.
Now, who else needs salsa?
Anybody?
Did you want more?
Second, that's a good sign.
Oh, we love that. Well, kind of not getting the juice with this, but.
Okay.
Okay, everyone. So what's the rest of the day look like for you guys?
We're gonna get Infirmary Mound.
Fairy trail,
Fairy
right?
trail.
Sounds fun. And it's shaded back there.
We should be able to get Tim back there, but probably not his chair. Not his chair. So he might be walking.
Lou, what do you think?
Good. It actually tastes just like I remember it from the end of the season last year.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right. Well,
actually, the stuff in the jar is fine, but this is a lot better.
it has a lot more fresh ingredients in it, like more tomatoes, definitely, and
Well, you can taste a little bit of sweet in the tomatoes and the tartness, and
definitely want to try
it
too.
doesn't taste all mushed together. But now, the peach.
I gotta try the peach and peach. Mmm.
Well, that bite was good, but I didn't get any peaches. So this bite has peaches. Definitely better when it has peaches in the bite.
Yes.
I don't know if I got a peach. Let's check out the raspberry bushes. They've been,
They got picked over pretty hard on that.
yeah, they did. They were pretty filled up, but here's some raspberries. Well, pretty picked through. And here is your PALS garden over here that we planted in about a month ago, or a little longer. Time flies. So we have some peppers. Look at this pepper, huge pepper. So we have tons of those. And we will see, everything's getting pretty big over here. Beautiful with corn growing. We had our first U-pick Monday night. We had 11 families come by, 29 people. And we gave away, I think, 200 pounds of food. So it was a good start to the season. Then we have our children's garden. Things are growing well in there. We have our blueberry bushes, just little babies still. All right. Are you guys ready to pick some peppers?
It's about so much in 2 weeks.
You guys ready to pick some peppers? We should have a bag somewhere.
I was gonna say,
Okay. Oh, here's a pepper to start. Anyone else want a bag? Okay.
yeah, you gotta have a big bag to cut, to pick.
All right, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Really,
Yes,
Sarah,
I like it.
Mary, and Dawn jumping on here, giving us terrific segments.
Nope, I'm hiding.
I like
You don't want to be on TV?
No, it's Aaron. No, nope.
Thank you.
He's cool.
Thank you, everybody.
Hiding.
All right.
Say bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. See you next week.
See you soon. Thank you, guys.
See you soon.
Bye,
Bye.
Aaron.
That was our friends at Together We Grow. They've given us just amazing segments here on PALS TV. We love the collaboration and the partnership and everything they do for the community. They're just amazing people. So, all right. Well, that wraps up our segment here. We will take another short break and then come back and join our friends over in Harrison County for some lunchtime fun. So stick with us here soon on PALS TV. You can unmute yourselves and hang out for a little while if you'd like.